Hey everybody, it's Josie and Little Howie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, this morning it's overcast and it feels wonderful out here. And so I'm out here in the pasture and looking over the cows and the calves, making sure that everybody is okay, that their health is good, and head off any problems that we might see, check on pest loads. You know, in the summertime, the flies really bother them and we spray them for that. Right now, what I'm seeing, everybody's looking good. I'll turn the camera around in a minute and show you some of the cows. And we also wanted to check the condition of the ponds and the creek. We have been getting some rains, and so some of the ponds are getting water in them. Now, they're not filling up by no means, but they are getting water in them. And this pond closest to our house needs to be dug out. Now, this is my Beefmaster bull, Doc, and he has had a long, busy summer. He will be going up with my dairy cows, Honey and Daisy, and spending the fall up there and getting some good grain and feeding and rest and recuperate before it's time to go back to work with his herd of ladies. Now, normally my farm has 2 bulls, but back in May when we had all that flooding, the Angus bull that I had an injury, got hurt pretty bad. He crossed over to the other side of the creek and had an injury over there to his leg and his back leg and his hip, and we weren't able to save him. So I am down to Doc, and he's been faithfully doing his job, but he needs a partner in crime. And so this next spring I will probably be on the hunt for another bull, and I'm going to be watching the now the calf herd this year has been a split between the Angus and him and Doc. He's a Beefmaster, and it's been split between the 2 of them, mostly the Angus. And so I'm curious to watch all the calves that Doc produces here in the next little bit to decide whether or not I want to go with another Beefmaster and run Beefmaster Angus cross, or what it is that we for sure want to do for the future of the farm. I sure love them. I think they're beautiful. Of course, I'm partial to that deep mahogany, kind of dark, deep red color. Herefords are my very favorite, but we run Angus and Beefmaster cross, and the crossbreds do really well out here. So this is my guy. Now this pond is beginning to fill back in, and it's not quite full yet. It's not quite full. You can see over there in that tree line that the water usually goes up in there in that little ditch and fills it up, and the cows that are in that pasture can come up over there and drink on that side of the pond, as well as over there there's a fence and they can drink on that side of the pond too. Now this pond, the cows like to get in and to cool off, and they stand in here during the afternoons, and we will continue to allow this pond to be used for that. We don't plan on stocking this with any kind of fish to actually catch and eat ourselves. We might put fish in here just to kind of take care of some of the weeds and the things that get in here. There's turtles in here. Turtles can sometimes pose a problem in your ponds, especially if you've got ducks that are coming down and they've got baby ducks. Those turtles will really wreak havoc on the baby duck population. Now, we're standing out here at Cedar Creek, and you can see that there's some water in it, but I'll just show you that it's not flowing free. There's just puddles where their areas are a little bit deeper, and the water is standing in it. It's definitely not running. You can see all of this back through here. The water flows down from this direction. You're actually looking at what should all be underwater, and you can see how dry it is. Got this little pool, and the water flows this direction, goes on around this way, and you can tell how dry it is going on around that bend and around further to where we cross and access the backside of our property. These are all things that have been washed down the creek with the flood, and you know, the creek just runs through part of our property. It goes on up through other people's property, and the things up above wash down this way, and you can see all kinds of branches and things that need to be taken out of here and cleaned out, and just a lot of work that needs to be done. And so these are other projects that we've got going forward, and hopefully we get some fall rains. We, like I said a while ago, we do have chances of rain in the forecast. Nothing, you know, not like inches and inches, but every little bit will add up, and hopefully Cedar Creek will be flowing nice and freely again this fall. I'll just show you without getting too close, because I got baby Howie in my arms, that at times when the water flows and it rises really quickly with the flash floods like creeks do, that this water gets way up out of its bank, and I know you can't probably really tell deep wise, but it actually comes up into this pasture at times when it's flooding, and it comes right up this bank and right up into the pasture. And so there have been times where we had too much water, but not the case right now. And so we're still praying for more rains, expecting more rain for us and for others, and we're just making things work right now. Here's more of our cows just enjoying the grass that's come back up since the rains have returned. Now I'll show you. You can see this grass, and it was beginning to look like we were going to have to start feeding our hay. We still might have to do that, but we're hoping not. We're hoping this grass will keep coming up. You can see that there are definitely some weeds just standing out through there in amongst with the grasses that the cows won't eat. Now I really wanted to show you the dairy calves, and I couldn't find them, and I drove over to this other pasture, and look here what I found. I found these little babies out here. They're not alone. They have a babysitter, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little calves out here with her, and she's just chilling out with them. I think it is so sweet. This is one of my little dairy heifers. Isn't she cute? And she's laying down enjoying chewing her cud. And we've got these other babies. There's one little baby. There's one little baby tucked up there by the fence. That's probably our very newest baby that we've got. And then we've got these others. And the one in the front, the little light colored one that's laying down chewing her cud, she's the other dairy heifer. And then behind her is another little sweet calf. And so I found the nursery school, and they're doing good out here. One more project before I turn all my attention to fixing supper is getting these bananas ready to go in the freezer. Now I like to get the bananas and let them get in this condition, and then I put them up. I usually put about 3 in a bag, and that's about enough for some nice banana nut bread. And I'll get those ready for baking up banana nut breads for this fall and for winter to give to family members. And I have enough for 3 bags of banana, and this will make 3 different batches of banana nut bread. Having them done like this just makes it a lot easier when you go to make your bread. Now what I will do is I will just simply drop 3 bananas in each, 3 bananas in a quart bag, in a quart freezer bag. Now that I have the banana in the bag, And I'll just kind of give it a little bit of a smush. And kind of lay it out a little bit flat. Now the idea is to get as much air out as you can, and kind of smush these out as flat as you can so that they're taking up as little room as possible. They can lay out flat and freeze. I buy green and let them begin to ripen because I love bananas, but when they start getting spots on them, I am not real crazy about them. So I try to get them green if I'm going to eat them fresh and let them ripen. But if I am going to bake with them, sometimes you can find at our grocery store, anyways, you can find the little bags, the paper bags that have bananas, overripe bananas in them, and you can usually get them cheaper. You can bring those home, and if they're ready to go already, just go ahead and bag them up like this and get them in your freezer. Here are 3 batches of bananas that are ready for recipes, and because I put the air out of them and I smushed them, they're not going to take up much space. They can lay like this. When they freeze hard, then I can set them up if I want to, like this, and with other things that I have in the freezer that's laid out the same way. And so that's just another way to save some money by buying overripe bananas, or not throwing your bananas away because they're not fresh enough, letting them go ahead and get super ripe or overripe, saving them for bread, or buy them at the store when they're already overripe and they're ready to be peeled and go right into bags. Well, we thank you guys for coming and spending the day with us. Little Howie's up from his nap. While he was down, I washed laundry and dishes. It's time to get him fed. He's eating corn. This baby loves corn and green beans. So he's having his supper, and I'll get our supper ready after I get him fed. And we've had quite an eventful day, checking out the creeks and the ponds, the baby calves, and just seeing what all kind of mess we could get into. Until next time, guys, this is Josie and little Howie. I love you. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time, we're gone.